AITA for not paying for my stepniece's school? My brother has been married to his wife for about 10 years. He has a 14-year-old daughter and she has a 15-year-old daughter. My niece is extremely smart and her teachers believe that she will have a very good future, so in order to help her, my sister and I have been saving money for her college. Now that my niece is going to go to high school, we were talking about which school she should go to. My brother mentioned that there is an extremely good but also very expensive school that he wished he could send his daughters, but unfortunately he can't afford it, so our niece will have to go to the same high school as our stepniece. After discussing this for a while, we let him know that we have set a college fund for our niece and that based on our calculations we can afford to use some of that money to send our niece to that school. Sil asked if we can do the same thing for her daughter, and we told her that we can't because the rest of the money is for our niece's college. She thinks we are both assholes for showing favoritism. NTA. It's already very generous of you and your sister to provide for your niece. Your Sil and her family should look what they can provide for the 15-year-old. You are not responsible nor obliged in any way to provide for her. It may be useful, however, to have a talk with your niece and make sure she doesn't feel guilty in any way for this decision. Not saying anyone will guilt trip her, just that sometimes good, sensitive people feel guilty for the good threat come to their life. As someone who has had multiple sets of step-parents and step-siblings, I think NTA. I never expected the extended family of my parents' partners to treat me exactly the same as my step-siblings. Why would they? Now, if I was adopted by the partner and didn't have any family of my own, I guess I'd feel different and expect to be an equal. But like, I had my own grandparents and uncles and such. Your step-niece? Lol. NTA. You are not the assholes here. College funds are intended for the specific beneficiary they are designated for. Using those funds for another child would be irresponsible. Your brother and his wife made their choices regarding their finances and daughter's schooling. While the better school may be appealing, they cannot expect others to subsidize their decisions. Favoritism did not come into play here. You are investing in your niece's future education and opportunities based on the resources and planning you have done. Stepniece is not your responsibility. While it may be unpleasant, you were being honest that the funds cannot be diverted. Practicality and fiduciary duty come before hurt feelings. Harsh truth is sometimes unpleasant, but no less truthful. You do not owe them an explanation beyond the facts. The college fund is for your niece as intended. Period. NTA. Your niece is your family's obligation. What you do for the step-niece comes from the goodness of your hearts and should not be forced. INTA. I don't blame her for asking, but for her to turn on you over saying no is not okay. NTA. I am always astounded by these ones where people expect relatives to treat relatives exactly the same as blood relatives. Yes, of course it is cruel to exclude young children when handing out Christmas presents, for example. But this expectation is ridiculous. The sense of entitlement is shocking. You should do what's best for your niece. NTA. Whenever I hear stories like this, I am puzzled as to where people are getting their audacity. Did she think this college fund was something you pulled out of your ass wholesale? Was she hoping your colon was big enough to have a mystery surprise college fund lodged in there somewhere? Ridiculous. NTA. My brothers and I went to different schools. We just had different needs and needed different environments to thrive. We went to the same university in the end though, lol. Keeping both kids in the same school. When one child is strongly recommended to go somewhere better suited to their abilities. For the sake of just keeping the kids together and avoiding a talk on individual abilities and needs. Is a bit selfish emo. Married for 10. So since kids were 4 and 5. Meaning together longer but won't assume how long. NTA in that it's your money. But you are telling your sister-in-law very clearly that she is not family to you. And her daughter is not family to you. Despite her long marriage to your brother. Your message is quite clear and I'd be furious about it too. It would be different if this were a new marriage. Nah, it's great that you want to support your niece, but it does cause a genuine problem for your brother and Sil, who view their girls as equals. If you paying for your niece meant that your brother and Sil could pay for their other daughter to go to, then that would be fair. But if they can't, then I can see why it would cause too many problems for their family. NTA. Where's the step-niece's bio, Dad? Nothing wrote shows or hints you're close to the step-niece. Brother and Sil needs to rethink it. If you're paying part of the costs, they need to look for ways to pay the difference. NTA. Being I was a stepchild who saw favoritism in my everyday life. You guys were saving for your niece and not planning on a step-niece. If mom wants the step-niece to do something, she needs to ask her family to set something up. You guys are not responsible for step-niece. Let's just say by chance they don't work out. You still going to pay for the step-niece? No tears of joy. NTA. And the mom shouldn't expect you to pitch in for her kid just because you're doing it for your brother's kid. Does she plan on helping your future kids to go to school? Your Sil can ask her daughter's actual father and his family to pay up. NTA. I don't think this rises to the level of TA, but I think it might be a misguided favor that's causing more problem within their family than it's helping. Your brother has 2 kids in his immediate family that he'd like to send to a private school, but can't afford to send both. So he's keeping them in the same school so there is not a disparity between the girls. You're swooping in and offering to create that disparity anyway. I'd let sleeping dogs lie on this one. And stick to your promise of saving a college fund for your niece. Unless there's some egregious circumstance you've skipping over here. I don't think that propping up your niece's future at the expense of her stepsister's feelings is the best course of action for their family. I would change this to YTA if you've given your niece any hint of saying, we want to send you to this super nice school, but your father, stepmother won't let us. It's great that you want to support your niece, but if your brother isn't asking for the private school money outright, I think insisting on giving it to him is meddling in their family affairs more than you should. Nah. YTA. I was leaning NTA, but based on your additional comments changed my mind. Your step-niece has been your niece since she was 5. I really hope you don't show favoritism in everything BC that may be super damaging to the sisters' relationship. Not to mention really cruel. It's a nice thing to help expenses, but you seem way involved in this. Just save it for college. The parents should be the ones making these decisions. I'd vote nah, but you could be damaging the sisters' relationship with each other showing this favoritism in high school. How has this not come up before? I'd everyone aware of the niece's college fund? NTA. She is family because of your brother's marriage, not yours. Instead of being grateful for you and your sister being able to help out your niece, they're just being greedy. The right thing for them to have said would be, thank you so much. This is an incredible opportunity for niece that wouldn't be possible without your help. Instead, they have their hands out for more than your overly generous offer. It's never enough for some people. Nah, but if you don't work to understand the issue, you'll be heading into territory. These 2 girls grew up together. Your brother and his wife are right to avoid favoritism. And it sounds like that's what this is. If one girl gets to go to an expensive, better school while the other is deemed not as smart, it could hurt them both and their relationship. Maybe there are legitimate reasons to only send your bionies, but we don't know that from your post. Do you play favorites in other ways? Does the stepniece have family that does stuff just for her? This may be a bigger issue. And it's actually good that it's coming up now, because paying for college for one and not the other is just as big a deal. NTA, I don't think that you're showing favoritism in this situation. You're simply setting up a college fund for your niece because you believe she's exceptionally smart and has a lot of potential. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think you're making the right choice in giving her the opportunity to attend a better school that she may not have had access to otherwise. Your SIL is being unreasonable by expecting you to treat your stepniece the same way you're treating your niece. She's not your daughter, so you're not required to provide for her in the same way.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic AITA is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.